In the previous episode, we were able to install the new motor into the car. We ran into one single issue, which was the AC compressor on the new motor is different than the old motor, so it wouldn't work with the AC lines. Let's swap them out real quick. Here's a crazy difference between a 2008 to 2010, correct me guys if I'm wrong, AC compressor, and then this is probably 2012 and up. Look at how small it is compared to this. Again, probably technology just got better or something like that. Or I don't know, it has a bracket and everything included so it could fit on an older motor, I guess you could say. But now we just have to put this one back on and we should be good to go to complete the whole entire assembly. Now that we took care of that little issue, we can move on and assemble the entire front end of the car, including a very important part, the radiator. And just like that, we have gotten the front end complete on the car with all the harness, everything, intercooler piping, intercooler, a lot of miscellaneous stuff that I don't record because there's so many little details that it's honestly crazy how one person builds a whole entire car. The next step coming is to fill up the car with not coolant, but with distilled water. Reason being, if there's any leaks or anything like that, I will find it when I first start the car. I don't want to lose the trusty old OEM Mitsubishi coolant, which I love, the blue one. It's really expensive. Distilled water is very cheap, $2, $1, whatever. And once we start up the car and make sure that everything's good and there are no leaks, then we will flush the distilled water and put actual coolant. I know it's an extra step, but it's honestly worth it because imagine losing $40 worth of coolant, a little bit more actually, $50 worth of coolant compared to the $1 or $2. Let's go ahead and fill this bad boy with some water. Now that the car has water in the system, we can safely go ahead and crank the car. I am removing the fuel pump relay and unplugging the coils so the car doesn't start up. Our first priority is making sure the motor builds oil pressure. This motor hasn't been started in over 10 years, so I am super nervous about this. If this motor doesn't start up, we are going to be in serious trouble, not only personally, but financially. After all this time, the time has come to actually start this motor. I am super nervous and super anxious. Let's hope everything goes well. The first thing we're gonna do is just crank it. That's why I removed the fuse and the coils and everything, just because I just wanna crank it and make sure that this motor does have oil pressure, and we will go from there. Hopefully everything goes well. Let's go ahead and start it. The first thing to do, and making sure so we do have power, is gonna be to see if we get any codes. Things are looking fairly good. I'm shitting bricks so bad. Let's turn off the air. All right, so we should be good to go. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and crank it. There you go. All right, go ahead and crank it for 3 seconds.
It's not doing anything. It says close good.
You can't crank it?
No hizo nada.
Try it again.
You hear that?
Yeah. Try it again. Try now. So try starting it, won't start. I scanned the ECU. I did a lot of stuff off camera just because this stuff stresses me out. Like, I get super worried super quick, and it's not communicating with the ECU. So this is a 2012 motor. That motor over there was supposed to be a 2010. I'm not sure if that has to do with it, but then looking at this, I found this plug right here that seems important, running through the harness that connects to the ECU. That's not connected. Currently, there is nothing here that I could plug it to. Everything's connected, everything around's connected, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something stupid, and it's just gonna be this one plug here, and somehow I'm just not seeing it right now. I'm pretty sure I'll find it and I'll update you guys, but that's the current update. I'm gonna keep trying to go over everything that I did and go from there. Things happen. This is kind of supposed to be the fun part where you're kind of learning as you go and trying to figure everything out. So I'm gonna try not to stress, but I am obviously a little bit stressed. I'll pick up the camera when I figure out what's going on. Quick update. So this harness right here plugs to this right here. The reason why I'm not able to plug it into this is because look at this and the way it is. It doesn't have that line that goes straight through. Let me see if this focuses. This is for the 2012. Now, if I look at the old harness, this plug right here does have the line, and it's completely different, as you guys can see. So this one does fit on that harness. So what I'm gonna try to do is de-pin this plug right here, put it on that one. I already checked the colors for the cables and it all runs pretty much the same. If that doesn't work, then we are in for a serious electrical adventure. Let's put it that way. Let's go ahead and de-pin these and go from there.
Now, I had to be very careful while doing this. I am working with the actual engine harness, and specifically, a part that connects to the brains of the car, the ECU. If I mess anything up, this can cause major problems.
Alrighty, a couple of hours later and a lot of diagnosing. I am almost sure this was the main issue. This does connect to the ECU harness and everything. It has even a ground. So I ended up removing the terminals and I ended up removing each cable out of the terminal itself. And the little terminals on the inside were super short and different compared to the plug for the other harness. So I ended up splicing it, which I didn't want to do, but man, I made this look OEM plus. I'm not even kidding. I took a long time to splice these cables, but I made sure that everything was good, heat wrapped and everything. So this is basically OEM, almost OEM. This makes me feel better. But now let's go ahead and try to start it again. I removed all the coils again, fuel relay. I just want to hear a crank, and if I do hear a crank, I'll be happy. Let's see what happens now. This is the moment. Turn it off. Completely. All right, and we just want to hear one little crank. So go 3 seconds.
I try to turn it on?
Yeah. Okay, so that was the issue. That was the main problem.
We got the car to crank. Unbelievable, after so much back and forth.
Go ahead and crank it for like 5 seconds. Go ahead. Alrighty, so we've cranked the car several times, a lot honestly, just to make sure that again oil pressure builds up. I'm doing this by feel. I've been looking at the cams and they do seem like they're getting oil to the head itself, so that gives me a little bit of confidence. So now let's go ahead and connect everything that we have to connect. I'll connect the relay, the coils, and the actual fuel injectors, and we should be able to start this thing up for the first time. I already checked below, there are no leaks whatsoever. Let's go, this is the moment we've been waiting for.
Now, the question is, will the motor start after more than 10 years?
Everything's connected. Go ahead. Nice and slow. Woo!
After more than 10 years of this motor just sitting on a shelf, we were able to bring it back to life, and not just the motor, but maybe even this Evo 10.
Let me go ahead and turn it on myself and see if we have a check engine light or anything like that. I'm pretty sure we will, but let's see. Service engine soon. Does that go away? So far, close hood, that's normal. Starts right up, ASS off. Check engine light went off. And that warning might be just because of the hood. Let me close the door. So we don't have the warning for the transmission, which is a good thing. Remember, we had the transmission service required. All we have is the closed hood. The little light went away. We don't have any check engine lights whatsoever, which is crazy to think. AFRs are not bad, sorta, 14.7. And this is a different motor. This is crazy. You guys want to see something funny? English, oh, playing in the background somewhere. Like it was playing in the background. This movie is somewhere on this radio. The true OGs are gonna know what movie this is. Crazy. Crazy to think this is a movie that started it all for this crazy passion. It's on the car I bought. I'm not even kidding, I didn't put this on. Boys, and just like that, the motor started and it's running. There's still a couple of little things that I have to check over, but overall, man, I am beyond words, super excited, super happy, super grateful. The motor runs. After 10 years of not running, the motor runs. So far, so good. The scariest part is about to come, which is actually driving the car and making sure that everything's good. Making sure that the transmission goes into drive, goes into reverse, goes through all the gears, which this is the main reason why we did all of this. So we're still missing the most important part, and that's gonna be in the next episode, where we will actually take the Evo 10 out for its first ever drive. I can't believe I just said that. I'm actually super stoked. I'm not even kidding. I'm just speaking out of emotions just because it's crazy, man. Like, we just took out a motor out with the transmission and TKs here in my garage and put in this new heart, not knowing if it would run after 10 years, just taking a leap of faith. And so far, all is good, which, man, I don't know, man. I'm beyond words. Huge shout out and thank you to Ali. Without her recording this, her starting the car, her helping me out, none of this would have been possible in the time frame that I did it. My sister also for giving the power to push engines around and helping me just with anything that was super heavy. Again, without them too, this wouldn't be possible. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. I hope this one was enjoyable. I hope that you guys are getting value out of this series, and just know that anything is possible. If you commit your mind to it, you can achieve anything. Like always, keep grinding, stay safe. I'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully on an Evo 10 rolling down the streets with a new motor. Anyways, take care, peace out, see you guys on the next one.